I kind of feel bad for Tennessee, I really do. Right when things were looking at an all-time high, the fans were starting to regain that hope. It got taken away from them just like that because of this bad news. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get too much better for the Tennessee Volunteers, you're sitting at a very impressive 5-0 record. You're the highest you've ever been ranked in 15 years. The program and fan base in general is at an all-time high. Things have completely taken a 180 turn. Or my bad. Let me go back and clarify on that statement. They're about to take a 180 turn. I mean, come on now. Are we shocked by this? This is the most Tennessee thing ever. Right when things are looking good, boom, out of nowhere, within the blink of an eye, you self-sabotage your own program and own football team. Whoa. Hold on. I know what all you Tennessee fans are sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, what in the heck are you talking about? Matt, what is going on? What is this bad news you're talking about? We're at an all-time high. We're ranked 6th in the country. Well, yes, you are right about that, but you also got to mention and throw in there, yesterday your star safety got arrested, which is also your team captain. It doesn't just stop there though. There is more bad news and we're going to talk all about it in today's video. But hold on real quick. If you're new to the channel or simply not subscribed, there is so many people watching that aren't subscribed. It's free. Why not join? We're building an awesome football community. Shout out to everybody that is subscribed. All right, Matt, blah. Shut the crap up now. Without further ado, let's get into it. Seriously though, subscribing is 100% free, and I can't emphasize enough how much it helps out the channel. Whenever we do gain new subscribers, it lets me know that the new people coming to the channel, you're enjoying the content. First things first, before we get into all the Tennessee nonsense and drama going on, let's take a look at the AP poll, because believe it or not, I haven't even looked at it. The only thing I know heading into this video is that Georgia is 1, Ohio State is 2, and Bama's 3. I do want to talk about it real briefly though and give y'all my live reaction, because I know a lot of you do care. The reason I don't pay it too much attention is because on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't even matter. But it does give us something to look at, and I'm not shocked right here. You see Georgia with 32 first place votes, Ohio State with 20, and Bama with 11. I've said this since day one, and I think we can all agree on this. Bama, Ohio State, and Georgia, 1 through 3, they're going to flip-flop after each and every single week. It's pretty much going to go off of a week-to-week basis. Whoever plays the best that week, they're going to be the #1 team. I don't really have a problem with Bama dropping, and I don't think Bama fans care too much because they know if they do beat Tennessee, they're going to go back up to #1. Going on down here, okay, didn't even know this. Clemson jumped Michigan, and y'all know how I feel about Michigan. They're overrated. If you want to throw them in the top 10, cool, but they're not a top 4 team in the country. No way. Don't really see too much more movement. UCLA, who is undefeated, jumped all the way up to 11, and Mississippi State jumped all the way up to 16. We also got Kentucky and Texas tied for that 22nd spot. And I don't like this because you cannot sit up here, look me in the eye and say there's 15 teams better than Texas right now with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. Let me give you an example. Would any of y'all pick NC State or Wake Forest to beat Texas? I know I wouldn't. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Me personally, I don't have a problem with the 1 through 3. I think that's fair. And I think Tennessee, who is at 6, should be at #5 and Michigan should be at 6. I would flip-flop both of those teams because if they played head-to-head right now on a neutral site field, I would pick Tennessee. Whoa. Hold on. Did somebody say Tennessee? I think they did. That leads me into my next topic perfectly. We got to talk about the Volunteers. Oh man, what a time to be alive. First things first, before we even get into this drama, I want to say for my Tennessee fans, I am happy for y'all. I genuinely am happy for y'all because I know how much y'all have suffered the past 15 years. For those of you that don't know, I actually grew up in a city that is in both Tennessee and Alabama. And I still currently live about 30-45 minutes from Tennessee, so I'm around Tennessee fans every day, and I have been for my entire life. I grew up in northern Alabama, so pretty much 98% of the fans were either Tennessee fans, Alabama fans, or Auburn fans. Here and there was a Georgia fan, a Kentucky fan, or Florida fan, but for the most part, Bama, Auburn, Tennessee. I wanted to share that information with y'all so y'all can understand that I understand the pain y'all have been through. For the past 15 years, I've heard Tennessee fans not just cry and complain about their team, but be sad and hopeless about their team. The only way to describe what I'm talking about and somewhat relate to it is talk to a Tennessee fan for yourself. It's almost like anytime something good has happened to them in the past 15 years, they're like, okay, what's going on? This isn't normal. Something bad is about to happen. And more times than not, that holds true. Because we've seen this Tennessee program time after time show some promises and glimpses of, hey, maybe we're on the come up, maybe we're rebuilding, and then boom, they lose 4 games in a row. The best word, and maybe the only word to describe it, is sad. I've been to a Tennessee game when they played Alabama. I've been to Knoxville, Tennessee. It's one of the most beautiful places you'll ever go to. And let me tell y'all something, when this Tennessee stadium is rocking, and I don't mean just slightly rocking, when they're rocking like they're about to against Alabama on Saturday, it's arguably the greatest college football experience in the entire world. If you're an SEC fan and you haven't been to Knoxville, Tennessee on a primetime game or a big game like this one, you gotta go to it. It's something you gotta do in your life. It's an absolute insane and awesome environment, and I mean that in a good way. However, it can also be one of the craziest environments you'll ever see. I'm not going to sit up here and criticize Tennessee fans. They would admit it themselves. They know they're crazy. But that's what makes Knoxville, Tennessee. That's what makes Tennessee, Tennessee, the crazy fans and environment. As an Alabama fan myself, I believe this 100%. College football is way better. It is 5 times better when Tennessee is good. It just is. College football is better, and the SEC is better when Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee are all good. I don't think Florida is even near a Tennessee or Georgia level right now, but maybe in a couple years they'll get there. Moving along with this video, I have to show you guys this video that a Tennessee fan tweeted out after the LSU game. Here was his caption to the video. All the pain, all the frustration, all the long walks back to the car. Man, I've never imagined it would feel like this. Once again, this is the aftermath of the LSU game. Matt, roll the clip. It's great to be a Tennessee Volunteer. It's great, blah, 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 blah. Just like the fans said, you heard it. They're preaching. They're saying, man, it's great. They're singing the songs on LSU's home field. But right when things were at an all-time high, right when the fan base thought, man, it can't get any better than this, bad news. Tragedy has struck the Tennessee program, and it's going to affect this game against Alabama dramatically. Yesterday, it was officially announced that their starting safety, which is also their team captain of the defense, was arrested. Why was he arrested, you may ask? Oh, it's because he punched a man. According to the police reports, the man who he punched accidentally walked into the starting safety's own apartment. So let me clarify that. Jalen, who is the starting safety for Tennessee, he was in his own apartment when some random guy came in, and the random guy was also drunk. The man who got punched told authorities he stepped away to get something from a vehicle, and when he headed back, he went into the wrong building, and that's what the warrant said. Also adding, he went into what he thought was his friend's building on the top floor and knocked on the door, but no one answered. He then opened the unlocked door and went inside. So here's where things get interesting. To put it into a better perspective, that'd be the equivalent to you being in your house or apartment and some random drunk guy walks into it uninvited. Yes, I think all of us would freak out. I'm not saying me personally, I would have punched him, but I would have been confused and been like, yo, what is going on? Get out of my house. So here's the controversial part about all of this. Everybody's going, yo, what's the big deal? He's just defending his house and apartment. A guy walked into it. It's okay to punch him. But according to Spencer, which once again is the drunk guy, as soon as he opened the door, he realized it was the wrong one and he left. So it's not like he opened the door and continued to go inside. No, he realized it right away and said, oh, my bad, and continued to go elsewhere. I'm just the messenger, so don't get mad at me if you think I'm trying to twist this or turn this. Here's what the official police documents also say. Mr. Spencer then stated that he immediately realized that he had entered the wrong apartment and apologized before closing the door and began walking back towards the stairs in the common area. Mr. Spencer said that the unknown male, which is the starting safety, pursued him out of the apartment and started getting aggressive. As he was walking away, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned around and the man punched him in the face. He fell backwards down the stairs and lost consciousness. And this wasn't just some jab or anything. It had to be a bad punch because according to the reports as well, it is stated he had blood and swelling on his mouth and had multiple missing and broken teeth. You can do what you want with this information. The only thing I'm going to say is the reason he got charged with this is because apparently, according to the police documents and records, he chased him outside of the apartment and then punched him. So it's not like he punched this guy while he was on his property or house. This was outside of it. One of my favorite quotes, and most of you know this, I got it hung up in my house, is with great power comes great responsibility. Mr. Jalen, you are the starting safety on the Tennessee Volunteers, the starting safety on the 6th ranked team in the country, and you're also the starting safety on a team who plays Alabama this Saturday. Why risk it? That is my question. Why even put yourself in this situation? And even if the story is twisted some way and he punched him when he was inside of his apartment, why even do that? Because you know whoever this drunk guy was, he's gonna press charges and you're gonna be in a sticky situation. It's not fair. When you're a football player, you are held to a different standard. You can't do this stuff. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like this could have got resolved even if you didn't punch him. Even if they were cussing back and forth at one another, beefing with each other, and even with him going into your apartment, which he did on an accident, what good does punching do? Punching the man does nothing good for you. However, I am going to look at it from both sides. I see where he's coming from. Some random dude walks up into my house. Yeah, I'm going to be mad about it. I always try to put myself in those person's shoes whenever something bad happens. And even if that did happen to me, I don't know if I'd punch some guy. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. I am very curious. I brought that up to say this, and I think all of you know where I'm going with this. More than likely, he will not be allowed to play against Alabama, which is a huge, and I can't emphasize this enough, a huge and major blow to that defense. I know what all you are sitting there saying, yo, Matt, really? That's why we're in quote-unquote big trouble? Come on, man. My friend, calm down. That is just one of the many reasons. That leads me into my next point perfectly. Major shout out to my man Raheem Jones on Twitter. He sent me this and I was like, oh, that's interesting. He said, yo, Matt, Tennessee is ranked 128th out of 131 teams for pass defense. Tennessee better hope Bryce Young doesn't play. And when he sent me this, like always, I'm not saying I didn't believe him, but I wanted to check it out for myself. I do see a lot of things, but I can't see everything. And when I don't see a lot of stuff, you guys, all my subscribers and supporters, y'all let me know and I appreciate that so much. Come to find out, after doing some digging and research, that is 100% correct. Tennessee is 128th in total pass defense. Listen to this number. That defense is allowing 307.4 passing yards per game. And may I remind you, that is with their starting safety. They're not even going to have him for this game. Why is that bad news? Why is Tennessee in trouble? Have some of you forgotten that Alabama has the best passer in the country, the best quarterback in the country in Bryce Young? Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume Bryce Young is going to play. If Bryce Young does not play, it's a completely different story, but it looks like he will. We saw the same thing happen with Arkansas. Last year, Bryce Young had 559 passing yards against that defense, and I told y'all before they played Arkansas, Bryce Young was going to go off for, at minimum, 400 yards, and he had 200 passing yards in one quarter before he got hurt. History tends to repeat itself if you have a bad defense, and Alabama has Bryce Young. Although I do believe Tennessee's front seven has improved dramatically from last year, the passing defense, not so much. If anything, it's gotten worse. Speaking of last year, I think it's worth mentioning Bryce Young had 370 passing yards. I'm telling you right now, you are going to see that thing fly in Knoxville, Tennessee. If Tennessee on average is allowing over 300 passing yards per game, what do you think Bryce Young is going to do? I don't think it's crazy or absurd for me to say he could have nearly 450. Is that crazy? I don't think it's crazy. Maybe it is. Here's the thing about me and this channel. You can hate me, love me. You can say some of my takes are crazy, which they are, and maybe I'm crazy myself, but I always have facts and evidence to back up everything I say. I don't just say stuff to say stuff. I don't say Bryce Young's going to terrorize the Tennessee defense without having the facts to go with it. Speaking of facts, I got one more cold hard fact for you. Alabama's total defense this year ranked 6th in the country. Tennessee's ranked 87th. So it's not like the run defense is that much better, and I think we all know that Alabama has a secret weapon at running back that isn't a secret anymore, and he goes by the name of Jahmyr Gibbs. Tennessee, respectfully, I mean this, if Bryce Young's playing, you are in a heap of trouble. And it's not even just the pass game, it's going to be the run game as well. But we all know this. What makes Jahmyr Gibbs so good and that Alabama running game so good? When Bryce Young is playing, he opens up the lanes. Because when you got to respect Bryce Young so much, that's when Gibbs is going to take over. I kind of feel bad for Tennessee, I really do. Right when things were looking at an all-time high, the fans were starting to regain that hope. It got taken away from them just like that because of this bad news. What mind boggles me the most about all of this, and we'll end off the video here, is that I don't even know why Alabama is going to make that trip up to Knoxville, Tennessee, because according to all their fans, this is their year. According to all their fans, they're going to beat Alabama. And also, according to their fans, it doesn't matter if Bryce Young or Jalen Milroe's playing, they're going to win. They're not scared. And I'm not saying you shouldn't not believe in your team, but it's the fact that they're not scared of Alabama. May I remind you who Alabama is? Maybe all these Tennessee fans are just trying to act like they're not scared, like whenever you see that bully in high school you need to stand up to. I don't know what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below. But right away.